who you are and your wonderfulness, and just tell the world all about Whitney, just the joy you bring to every day, because you do.
Cool. All right. Well, hi, Pascha Chocolate. I'm so excited to be here. I am Whitney Stuart. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. I'm a certified diabetic educator and a realistic dietitian trying to help the modern woman navigate health and real health and what that really actually looks like, how we find food as medicine and real food for real joy, and how we can have good health from the inside that kind of comes out. We can see that from the outside, that we're not just focusing on health from an aesthetic standpoint, that we're looking internally, just like with hormones, that we start deep and that we start with their root cause and really fix those prominent issues that then benefit us from the inside out. So,
Do you mind like sharing the difference between like, you talked about root cause, which is, I'm so grateful that you said that, because I don't know if everyone really understands. I know that I still live in a world where, my friends are like, oh, my nose is running, I'm just going to take something to stop the nose running, which is
yes,
not a root cause initiative,
no,
right? Can you sort
yeah,
of just share what you mean by root cause?
absolutely. So, a lot of times now, when we are diagnosed with a disease or an ailment or something, it's really a symptom. It's an outcome of a bigger problem. And instead of looking for the origin of the source of that ailment, we usually just fix the problem. And so we know that, like a tree, if we have a diseased branch, if we cut off that branch or if we mend that branch, we still really haven't fixed the internal root problem, which lies deep within the trunk for years, where it's built and festered, that we need to address the overall tree's health. And so oftentimes, with a lot of my patients, they might be having high blood pressure or hypertension or hormonal imbalances that has nothing to do with that actual one abnormal lab. It has something to do deeper with lifestyle or routine or something that they've inherently been doing for a long period of time.
So, I would, for me, I'm just so grateful that you talked about root cause, because when I was having hormone issues, I didn't have any idea, but I had a lot of symptoms.
Mhm.
So I was like treating the symptoms,
Yeah.
fatigue, thinking, oh, I'm really tired all the time. I need to
Yeah.
get more sleep. It didn't matter how much sleep I was getting.
Yeah.
So it took a while to understand root cause. So what are some of the symptoms of like a hormone imbalance that are pretty common and people may not even realize it has to do with hormones?
Yeah, so the first one that comes to mind is cravings. Like, I think that people, this is a big one for people, and I think this resonates really well with chocolate, right? People are like, why am I having chocolate cravings? We don't realize that that could be because of where you're at in your cycle. That could be because of your magnesium depletion. That could be because of the lack of iron or flavonols that's in your diet, right? On deeper within me that I can address, that can then promote the lack of those symptoms.
Serotonin, oxytocin, cortisol, these are hormones people hear about all the time. Can you
Yep.
just talk about like why we hear about them and why they even matter?
For sure. So serotonin, super important. Serotonin is like your feel good, well-being hormone. We know that it enhances the way that you feel. I feel like it's like your smile hormone, right? It's like the
Okay.
thing that keeps that smile on your face. And we see that serotonin really is something that can be increased by the intake of the cacao we find in chocolate, which is really interesting because if we look intuitively at the body, it's like it makes sense, right? When I eat chocolate, I'm not upset about it. That makes sense, right? I'm happy about it.
I love
And when you
you.
and when you learn to trust your body, you're like, this is science, right? This is science that's causing this. So the second one, oxytocin, I feel like this is most talked about maternally with mother and baby, and that like cuddle, feel good hormone, like you're close to someone that you love and you feel that sense where we get it from hugs and holding hands. Um, Oxytocin to me is really important when we talk about COVID and isolation. People had a lot less oxytocin because we weren't hugging, we weren't holding hands, we didn't have that
Yeah.
cuddly feel, right? And then cortisol, I think, women who are going through menopause really understand cortisol, but also cortisol is really that like stress response, fight or flight hormone. So what the body feels when it's overworked, when it's overly anxious, overly stressed, this is the hormone that's raised in response to those being in chronic high demand.
Wow. So these three hormones are like super powerful. You mentioned about cacao. We know that there are healthy compounds in cacao. How
Mhm.
does chocolate like support hormones? It sounds almost ridiculous to think that.
Yeah,
Think of chocolate as a snack. We're here to tell
yeah,
you chocolate is a food, and actually there's science behind it. And like, does it support
yeah.
hormones? And if so, should we have it often? And what's that
Yeah,
look like?
such a
Yeah.
good question. And I think the one thing that I really like to change the conversation about chocolate to include is that chocolate's not just a fun food, it's a functional food, right? It
Yeah.
has a purpose. And so when we look at good quality chocolate, we know that it contains, specifically the big ones that stick out to me are like the high flavanol content. So we have a high load of antioxidants, and we have magnesium. And magnesium is a key um, part and of the process, especially with hormone optimal functioning. And so the fact that we can look at not just taking those separately isolated, but that we can put them into a functional food and get that benefit out of it, like how cool that we could eat that for heart health, for cognitive function, and to see hormone improvement and not have to take it in the form of a supplement.
Awesome. Well, that you mentioned magnesium and chocolate and how important that is.
Well,
Uh,
and magnesium is something that I think used to be a lot more prevalent in our diets, but because like the soil that our fruits and vegetables are grown in isn't as robust as it used to be, we're not getting the magnesium and the mineral load that we used to. And so obviously we have to supplement to get that. It's the environment that we live in, right? We're just being
yes.
smarter about our approach to food intake.
And not all chocolate is created equal. That's a big part of this. So,
Yes.
Asha, you can know that, you know, we are vegan chocolate, organic, allergen free, pretty much check all the boxes. We have no sugar, low sugar, and better for you. But no matter what chocolate, cacao, no matter what, you need to read the ingredients, no matter what you're eating or what
Yes.
you're putting in your
Yeah.
body. That's first and
Yeah.
foremost. So if, please understand that this is not a universal, no matter what any chocolate that you eat is it has to be just like any food. Not every
Yes.
can of soda is the same. Not every,
Yeah.
meat is the same. Not every, fish you buy is the same. So,
Yeah.
we have to really understand that. Now, Pascha has a term called mind body chocolate fix, which is
Yep.
basically a part of your day where you get your mind body chocolate fix. We like to think of it as sort of a moment.
Mhm.
But for some people, that moment is around the family dinner table after dinner. Everybody has a piece of chocolate. So
Yeah.
it's not a moment that has to be alone, but it can be a shared moment or a ritual or whatever. What would be like a mind body chocolate fix for you in life? Like, when do you find yourself sort of engaging in something like a mind body chocolate fix?
Yeah. So I love this question because I talk to all my patients about social sweets and how the importance of sharing your sweets and your desserts with somebody else. And so that you really build it into your routine and it's something that you're proud of and that there's this excitement around food still, especially something that benefits your health. But I really love having kind of actually have my bar in my coffee. So
Oh,
this
there you
is
go.
my midday treat is usually around 3 or 4 o'clock. I'm leaving my clinical practice and headed to the house to let our puppy out, and I will sit in our backyard and have a snack, whether it's like almonds and chocolate or something paired together, like pears and some of the white chocolates, one of my favorite combos. And I have like sunlight and fresh air and my chocolate. And oftentimes it's that hour window where I get time with my pup, I get time with my husband, and it's just kind of a deep breath moment to really like have a set point to relax before we like move on to kind of like part two of the day. And it does so much. Like it's so nice, I think, for me to have almost like a midday boost and a pickup in my serotonin levels and my feel good hormones before I head out. I like it better in the afternoon. I really savor like a slow bedtime routine. So I'm more likely to have my chocolate earlier in the day as a midday pick me up. So,
That sounds wonderful. The sun, a dog, chocolate,
yes.
coffee,
Yeah.
maybe some almonds. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Yeah, like who, and I mean, it
Who
is
wouldn't
a
pick up
mind
on that?
body chocolate fix at that point, because look at all you're giving yourself, and that's the
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Um, again, talking about hormones, what all of that does for your
Yeah.
hormones has to be unbelievable,
Yeah.
doing it in that way. And then last but not least, I think one of the things I want to really share with people is this is a beginning of what we hope to be not only an educational and informative, but also to grow to be an interactive relationship that we're going to have we have with Whitney. We're hoping to do Instagram lives where you can engage and ask her more questions, but we'd also be open to hearing from you if you want to email us back or message us what you'd like to hear and what you'd like to learn
Yeah.
about regarding health and wellness and food as medicine, which is real food focus is
Mhm.
loud and clear. You can also find Whitney all over social media. Her videos, her recipes are so much fun. She does these great product reviews too, which I have to tell you, I so appreciate because when I first started thinking about real food,
Gosh, me too.
I went to Whole Foods, and I was in the store for like 3 hours and I had no idea
Yes.
what to buy or what to do. I was like, I don't know what
Yes.
almond
And
flour.
then you buy something that ends up in the garbage can. Like, that's why I started it. Like, I was like, this food isn't good. I wish somebody would have told me, right?
And stuff's
When I started
expensive.
my journey, like, I was like, I just spent, $9 on bread that tastes like styrofoam. And
Oh,
what am I going to do with it? Right?
yep.
Yes.
So I love that. And I wish it was available, 15 years ago when I
Oh,
was in
I
that
know.
place because you would have saved me a lot of money. Please share with people, where do they follow you? How do they find you?
Yep. So I'm at Witness Nutrition, but it's WHITNESS. Witnessnutrition.com. You can download our free planner on our website. We have an upcoming challenge going on. We're very interactive online. I'd like to be a free resource for you as much as I can outside of our virtual practice.
So you have a virtual practice and people
Yeah.
can get you all over. So talk about that a little bit too. Your virtual, and can people see you because you're in the Dallas area? Can they see you in person as well?
Yeah, so we just started doing some in-person work with patients through a concierge medicine practice here in Dallas. But I like the virtual option. I have patients from Seattle to New York because people are busy and they want to have accountability, but they don't want it to take up a lot of time. And I get that. So we meet with people weekly and just really make sure that we're staying on track on the course of your goals and really building momentum around that in a really easy and convenient way straight from your phone.
Awesome. Whitney's just like a one-stop shop for wellness and food focused stuff. And you don't have to just be a woman, men
Yeah,
that are listening.
yeah, we take men too.
Absolutely. We're gonna a lot of you are getting this in our newsletter, which is going to be
Mhm.
great. There will be a prompt at the bottom of this. Whitney has a great 10-day Pumped for Pumpkin
So
sort
excited.
of community event that
Yeah.
happens starting in October. She does this every year. We encourage you to consider joining her to sort of kickstart before the holiday season, sort of
Yeah.
get your body and your mind right. Because I don't know about you, but like the college 10 or 15, I always have
Yeah.
the holiday 10 or 15, so I like to set I'm just love hors d'oeuvres. I love finger food,
Yeah.
that's my
So
my
fun. Who
downfall.
doesn't?
Are you
Yeah.
ready? So definitely want to encourage you all to like look down below and uh, you know grab a hold of her information on that, maybe join her. Talking about just sort of how simple and easy and wonderful you can support your hormones and have a mind body chocolate fix without it having to disrupt your day. Just, I think, are just tools and words and information that are just going to elevate everyone who listens. And I just am really grateful. So thank you so much for that. It means the
You're
world to me.
welcome.